You want me to do what? You didn't pay attention last episode? You weren't watching? You didn't tune in last month? What, you weren't here for the last episode of Shameless? You want me to catch you up with the last episode of Shameless?
My name is Desmond Miles. I'm a prisoner of war, waged by two groups I never thought were real. Templars and Assassins. When they first brought me here, I was afraid of what would happen if I tried to fight back. Now I'm afraid of what will happen if I don't. My name is Desmond Miles, and this is my story.
Sir, are you getting ass? Are you? Come on. Who am getting ass for they queen right now? What do we mean right now?
After a heartfelt talk with the likes of Warren Vidic, Lucy Stillman returns to us covered in blood, screaming.
We have to go.
She tells us we have to sit in the Animus, so we went back in. Wait, hold on. Zoom out. Fast forward. Fast forward!
And what shall we call him, my love?
Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
Perfect. Nigga, Desmond just RP'd a baby! Man, the subtitle's gonna go crazy with that one. Desmond and Lucy sneak and battle their way through groups of Abstergo militia. Once again placed in a Mr. Beast Super Challenge box lined with hundreds of offices and measurable animuses. The most funny bit of it all is that Desmond, rightfully confused, is asking question upon question upon question.
Is it animuses? Animi? What do you think, Lucy?
Lucy just keeps walking and walking.
Desmond, shut the fuck up. Please.
Until she puts him in the trunk.
Get in.
You're joking.
It's for your own protection.
Oh, man.
We're almost there.
They're saved, finally free of Abstergo's clutches, for now, but it's time that Desmond finally fulfills his role as an assassin, as a hidden one. See, by exploiting the bleeding effect of the Animus, Desmond should, theoretically at least, be able to absorb Ezio and Altair's abilities like a sponge as he once again goes on his temporal treasure hunt TM. This is a risky maneuver, considering the likes of the late, great, and very blonde Clay Kazmarek, who was driven to insanity due to the bleeding process. All hope is not lost, though, because we are greeted by the likes of Rebecca Crane and Sean Hastings, who are both equally some of my favorite side characters in all of media. Rebecca's a very rock'em sock'em robot kind of girl. She's a techie, she's got energy, she's loud, and honestly probably a lot of fun at parties. Sean, on the other hand, is very much the Squidward of their group, almost annoyed at everything, irate and outright pissed off, and I love him for it. You get the opportunity to come out of the Animus a lot more here, so you'll get to know these faces well, and have pretty great relationships with them too. You're bound by blood now. You, Desmond, are an assassin. Okay, so before I get into this, there's something I didn't really get to talk about much in the last video, but you see there's these pillars to Assassin's Creed in this golden age that we've thrust upon. These pillars are the core fundamental foundations that made Assassin's Creed successful to begin with. Parkour, combat, and stealth. These were left untouched by me because I forgot. But also because I can compare the two games well by comparing them through the pillars. So let's start with the most important one, parkour. Parkour. Parkour and free running are methods of transportation with no real meaningful origin. Modern founders such as Sébastien Faucon and David Bell popularized the sport in the early 2000s, starting something of an internet phase. The premise is to get from point A to point B with the most creativity and efficiency. Altair was a trailblazer in this, and his uses of free running, but his handling was very clunky when compared to the likes of Ezio. See, Ezio's notably faster and can run and leap, jump with much greater force and distance. Altair could climb, leap, and back eject and vault over most objects in the game. Vaulting, on the other hand, was a movement exclusive to Altair for many years, until Connor Kenway was introduced in Assassin's Creed 3. Now here in Florence, Ezio's a different beast altogether. Ezio's lightning speed coupled with the new objects and items in Italy to maneuver around, parkour feels leagues more satisfying than it did in 1. Springboards, hanging pots, poles, Italy's a running wonderland, and Ezio can jump higher. But we'll have to get to that later. December 26th. 1476. Florence, Italia.
Insieme per la vittoria! Insieme! Silenzio, my friends! Silenzio!
Ezio was talking big game in front of his boys, talking some big shit about a Vieri de Pazzi, one of his best friends, just kidding, a childhood rival, and piece of shit. He manages to say the wrong thing.
Afraid to handle things yourself? Your sister seemed quite satisfied with the handling I gave her earlier. Damn!
And, well, Vieri. Blood in the streets of Florence, as friends and family of the Auditore and Pazzi duke it out, scarring Ezio permanently in the process. I ragazzi got their pussies pommeled and pillaged by the audacious all-might Auditore bestowed upon them. Victorious, Ezio and Federico mosey away off to the nearest doctor, and his 2020 appropriate plague fit. They race to the top of a church tower, overlooking their beloved city.
It is a good life we lead, brother.
The best. May it never change.
And may it never change us.
Instead of heading home with his wiser brother, Ezio detours off to the bedroom of a Miss Cristina Vespucci.
Ezio, let Christina sleep.
There will be time enough for that.
And let's just say it got pretty sandy on her beach. After nighting the fuck away, pardon me, fucking the night away, Ezio is on the run from some guards for laying his most hidden blade in the guts of Florence's most favorable dame. Ezio's just your average bourgeois Renaissancean, you know, doing your normal rich boy art things, collecting flowers for his little brother Petruchio, punching two-timing Ducios in the face for his sister Claudia, and getting and digging his mitts in the coochie jar. Oh! That's such a gross line.
Ew! What the fuck?
After being the errand bitch for his siblings, he graciously accepts his mother's request to walk and talk with her dear friend as they transport some of his paintings.
You should find an outlet.
I have plenty of outlets.
I meant besides vaginas.
This friend is a one Leonardo da Vinci, my editing software's namesake. Bidding Leonardo and his mother farewell, Ezio's finally met with a single task: deliver some papers to his father's associates. Okay, he really is an errand bitch. Giovanni Auditore was his banking man, likely in accounting, numbers, a man of stature. It becomes very clear very quickly that
You Giovanni's kid?
these associates of Ezio's father are drivel, complete filth in the way of the cast, thieves, prostitutes, beggars, men of piss,
Don't worry, boy. We're not contagious.
asking if he was followed. And
That they're moving tonight. He should as well.
who's moving? Huh? Well, better ride back to the Palazzo Auditore and ask my dad what the fuck. Ow! What the fuck? Ah! Ah!
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
The palazzo had been pillaged by guards just moments earlier. He was too late. Or just late enough. Claudia and the house servant Maria are semi-bothered, while Ezio's mother is completely catatonic. She's in shock. Those guards did bad things sexually to Madame Auditore. And this is a piece never again touched on by the series. She kinda just fades on like this forever, only ever uttering 3 lines in her entire tenure. Dream on, Audi Lady. Dream on. With his mother and sister battered, and his brothers in binds, Ezio scales to the top of Florence's prison and consorts with his father.
Wait. You knew this would happen?
Not the way it did, and not this soon. Return to the house. In my office is a hidden door. Use your talent to find it. Beyond lies a chest. Take everything you find inside. I need you to take these documents to Mr. Roberto.
And he did. Ezio raced back home and attained the treasures his father spoke of, and sought out Umberto, who at the sight of him seemed rather unfazed and relaxed.
I see now. It's a misunderstanding, Ezio. I'll clear everything up. The documents you've given me contain a conspiracy against your family and the city. Don't worry, Ezio. Everything is going to be fine.
Morning. December 29th, 1476. Birds went quiet. Crowds raged with anger. And Umberto Alberti at the helm of the gallows.
Giovanni Auditore!
The Florentines raged with vigor.
Stand accused of the crime of treason. Have you any evidence to counter this charge?
Yes, the documents that were delivered to you last night.
I'm afraid I know nothing of these documents. He's lying!
And fury across their accused conspirators.
Yours in return, I swear! We will! Father!
Ezio is discovered by the guards and the sentries and is quickly disarmed. Choosing wisely, he decides
Better run, boy. Fast.
and escapes. And Memory Sequence 1 is complete. Ezio meets with Annetta, one of his old house ladies who had sent Maria and Claudia to his sister's house.
Just north of the Duomo.
A bordello? A brothel?
I think we have the wrong building.
One run by Madonna Paola, a mistress who plans to help Ezio become the assassin he was meant to be. Which segues perfectly into our next pillar, stealth. Stealth is moving silently. It's being unnoticed. Stealth is the absence of presence, or at least perceived presence. The mechanics in 1 were pretty simple. Hide in bail, hide in closet, pretend to be monk with monks. But Ezio, on the other hand, is liberated with the introduction of social stealth. Paola teaches Ezio how to blend, the act of becoming one with the densely populated streets. With social stealth, Ezio is invisible to guards and a hidden blade to his marks. Ezio can now join mobile groups and just close in on targets. He can sit at benches to chill and be inconspicuous, and even hold his breath and swim underwater, unlike Altair, who could not swim at all. But now with these newfound skills in the stealth tree, Ezio bills Paola arrivederci once again, off to get some answers to his burning questions of his soul. Among the assassin gear in his father's box, Ezio received a page, a codex. The Codex Pages, many decipherable pieces of parchment revealing many a tale, function, or mechanism of the assassins. Codex Pages don't particularly do anything, but in the hands of the assassins they're rather useful. But to the untrained and unhoned skills of Ezio, not up to assassin standard. So he brings the Codex to the smartest man he knows, and trusts, Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, Ezio Auditore! I didn't expect to see you again. Where are my manners? Welcome back.
I was hoping you could repair something of mine.
Leonardo clears a space in his workshop and eagerly picks up the mysterious item. A shattered gauntlet resembling a hidden blade lost to time.
Despite its age, the construction is rather advanced. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Leonardo reaches for the codex and lights up like a Christmas tree. After a few short hours and a power nap from Ezio, Leonardo returns with a repaired hidden blade.
Now all that's left is to remove your ring finger. I'm sorry, but this is how it must be done. The blade is designed to ensure the commitment of whoever wields it.
Bene. Do it quickly.
I was only having fun, Ezio.
Nigga, that's why you gay! Leonardo, invigorated by the finagling with new mechanisms, asks Ezio to give any Codex Pages.
Please, bring it to me.
And Ezio gives his word. And just like that, a friendship that would last a lifetime was formed. But all was not soft and sweet for long. For a group of guards beating on Leonardo's door and shortly beating him thereafter, for consorting with Ezio, Leo receives a pummeling of a lifetime.
Ready to talk?
Until he is saved by Ezio's new blade. She tasted Florentine blood for the first time by the dim lights of Da Vinci's workshop, and then he was off once more. All was fine until Desmond gets a call in the Animus from Rebecca and Sean. In front of him, an Omega painted in the Italian walls, glowing.
This can't be. Hold on. That's computer code.
Hello, this is Subject 16. Listen, I don't have much time. There's something I have to show you. Everything we know, everything we've been brought up to believe, it's wrong. I've uploaded the evidence that proves it all, but I've split it into 20 pieces and locked each with a code. Find them all, and along the way, you'll begin to see the truth.
Clay Kazmarek hacked into the Animus between sessions with Vidic and uploaded his thoughts into the memory core of Animus 2.0. In doing this, he gives us a whole new time-traveling scavenger hunt, and for once the pieces are from now instead of then. See what I did there? It's called a callback. Desmond assembles the pieces of the puzzle, passcode 2468. Returning to Paolo's, she tells Ezio,
I've given you the skills, Leonardo's given you the blade. All that remains is the deed.
Uberto Alberti, a traitor, a coward, and an orphaneer. Ezio took to the skies that day, dodging all guards and people that he'd crossed through the crowded streets. He tailed Umberto with Lorenzo Medici, one of the most powerful and beloved men in Italy at the time, scaling the peaks of Basilica di Santa Croce, watching his every move like an eagle in the sky. Alberti talks of many striking Giovanni's name from the records, forgetting he was ever anything more than a traitor. Disgusted, Ezio continues stalking his prey. Ezio leaps from the rooftops and executes Alberti, after eyeing him down through the crowd.
The Auditore are not dead! I'm still here! Me! Ezio! Ezio Auditore!
Back at Palda's, Ezio tells it's time for him to leave Firenze, to Monteriggioni. After taking down some wanted posters and offing some government officials, he tells his sister of the family's passing, and they leave, for Ezio's uncle. Memory sequence 2 complete. Toscana, 1476. Twilight lights dim the newly nighting sky as Ezio, Claudia, and Maria inch closer to their refuge. Along the path, Vieri de Pazzi and his gang stop the Auditore in their tracks, swords drawn. Ezio is left semi-defenseless and outnumbered. Things seem grim until his entire gang is defeated by the thrown steel of a scarred gray man. Ezio and his mysterious friend defeat the remaining guards, as Vieri runs off cockless.
Keep the sword, Ezio.
Do I know you from somewhere?
It's a me, Mario!
Mamma mia! Mio Nipote is getting out here saved by the goat himself! Doesn't sound like Chris Martinet, though.
Mamma mia!
Ezio has nothing anymore. His life has been thrown away to the dogs. All left to him is a list of men with aim at his skull. At least he has friends. No. Family. Uncle Mario tells Ezio to prepare for his training. Ezio, rightfully confused, being a fugitive and all.
But your father, he'd want you to finish his work.
What work? My father was a banker.
Wait, he did not tell you?
You're a wizard, Harry.
Uncle Mario takes Ezio into the courtyard and begins combat training with him, which will be our final pillar. If I have to explain this to you, you need to be hit upside the head, and then you'd have a personal understanding of it. Tete-a-tete, mano-a-mano, combat in Assassin's Creed 2 is debatably one of the best in the series. You see, I'm an AC3 purist, ostracized from my community, but the combat in 2 improves greatly upon 1, being much more responsive in the counters, standard mash melee. Ezio's given the ability to taunt goad enemies into attacking him on his own terms. He can dodge effectively, counter, disarm, grab, and throw enemies. Ezio's enhanced speed and overall maneuverability make him much more of a dynamic opponent. Ezio Auditore, a one-man army. There are 3 assassins that I'll tell you about that truly deserve this title, and Ezio of Florence is one of them. Ezio hears word of Vieri giving all-around guff and hell to the locals of Monteriggioni. Mario's men ride at dusk to slay the snake. In San Gimignano, they waited outside of the gates late at night and stormed the walls in secret. Mario's men would distract the guards in front, while Ezio would sneak around the back dispatching Templars with throwing knives until he could reach the gate controls. After letting the men of Monteriggioni through, they swarmed over the Templars and made quick work of the Red Menaces, and quick enough not to alert the Templar higher-ups deeper within the city. Vieri, Francesco, and Jacopo de Pazzi, and a hooded, bearded man. They've allocated the 3 of them to different sectors, preparing to strike. But what? Where? But there wasn't time to deliberate, only time to end his high school menace.
I'm sorry. Were you hoping for a confession? Pezzo di merda! Vorrei solo che avessi sofferto di più! Hai avuto la fine che meritavi! Spero che
Enough, Ezio! Show some respect.
Do you think he would have shown either of us such kindness?
You are not Vieri. Do not become him.
Vieri, oh Vieri, yes, he of Pazzi fame, was just as mad as his old man, and ended just the same.
Ezio tells Mario of the conversation he had overheard. Mario gives a name for the hooded Spaniard, Rodrigo Borgia. Ezio will soon sail to give Francesco as he did to his son. Following Mario into his study, he notices many Codex Pages stamped to the wall.
Do you see the way the words cross from one page to the next?
There is something underneath it all. Some kind of map.
Your father and I managed to make out bits of a prophecy. It was written by an assassin like us, who long ago held a piece of Eden. His name was Altair.
Yup, that Altair. The one we spent 15 hours living as?
What are you doing here? You too busy to watch last week's episode of Shameless, huh? You dumb fuck, is that what you want?
He spoke of something ancient, hidden beneath the land.
What is it?
What indeed? Solving that little mystery is exactly why we collected these pages.
And now you can see why Desmond got kept around by Abstergo. He has 2 different ancestors who have both come in close contact with the pieces of Eden. Now all we have to do is find it. April, 1478. Repubblica Florentina. Ezio returns to Florence to uncover more on the Pazzi Conspiracy, a plan to damn the Medici in the eyes of the Florentine public. Ezio searched for his capable friend Leonardo, who had thrived in his 2-year absence. Ezio gives Leonardo another one of the Codex Pages, and he is gifted a second hidden blade. Leonardo sends Ezio on the trail of La Volpe, the fox, who has information on the Pazzi's location. There's word on the street. A secret meeting tonight. Ezio follows La Volpe to what resembled an old aquifer. He presses the insignia and descends into the abyss. A catacomb. An old Templar meeting spot by the looks of it. Ezio's skills as a free runner are put to the test here as he leaps from pole to pole, vantage to vantage, and effortlessly flips levers to incur his escape. Or pursuit? These long jumping puzzles that Assassin's Creed was once known for will get much worse before they disappear entirely. After clearing out a handful of guards, Ezio makes it to the meeting chamber, met with Latin-speaking bastards, 6 men plotting murder against the kind Medici.
Gentlemen, tomorrow a new sun rises over Firenze.
Church bells rang that morning.
There's Lorenzo.
Church bells rang that morning. Men clad in reds and greens flocked the flooded streets.
There's Giuliano, Lorenzo's brother. Where is Francesco? There he is.
Giuliano Medici was stormed by Bernardo Baroncelli, just mere yards from his brother Lorenzo. Francesco gutted him like a dog in the streets. The Pazzi pawns cosplaying as monks attempted to slay Lorenzo. Ezio jumps in, sword in hand, to defend Lorenzo de' Medici. The Medicis were family friends of the Auditore, and a family known for its class and stature. Ezio would fend off the Templars surrounding Lorenzo, but Francesco would escape. Ezio would defend Lorenzo until he was safe in his own home.
By the thrice greatest, come in, quickly! The city is at war! Hurry!
Why did you help me?
You are not the only one who lost a brother to the Pazzi. My name is Ezio Auditore.
You're Giovanni's son. Your father was a good man. He understood honor, loyalty. Francesco de Pazzi. Help save our city, Auditore. Kill him.
Requiescat in pace.
Ezio made quick of Francesco and had him hanged by a noose in front of the people that he had scorned. Head hanging in front of his bastard father. Just as picturesque as the history books had written it. Memory sequence 4 complete. The dust had settled, and Ezio and Lorenzo are standing by the bridge Ezio's story started on. 2 survivors of 2 dying breeds. Awe-inspiring.
If they work with Jacopo, they were surely involved in the plot against my family as well. Give me their names.
Antonio Maffei, Archbishop Francesco Salviati, Steffano de Bagnone, and Bernardo Baroncelli.
Lorenzo gives Ezio a Codex page and wishes him well on his way back to his uncle. Ezio had a plan now. Names to erase. In other words, now we have a plot.
Been sent from Firenze to attend to some unfinished business. I'm looking for Jacopo de Pazzi.
I will put my scouts to it at once.
The scouts made quick work of finding the conspirators, because not long after they'd found Steffano de Bagnone, not far outside of Monteriggioni.
Where is Jacopo?
They meet in the shadow of the Roman gods.
Requiescat in pace.
More riddles from bastard men. The stark difference between Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 is that if it's not obvious enough, the unbiased assassin name is dropped in pursuit of the revenge plot. Not bad in any way of the word, but Ezio's emotions and opinions are what set him apart from Altair. He doesn't have the mindset that Altair had. He's an emotional Florentine pretty boy, a lady grabber, not a stone-cold assassin. Not yet, at least. Ezio had made haste to Tuscany to meet with another of Mario's men.
We found Bernardo Baroncelli.
Ezio constructs a plan to assassinate Baroncelli in San Gimignano to succeed where the mercenaries failed. But before I continue, I just want to say, yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot more than before. Man, I wish we could just check in on Desmond. But I think he's being...
This is my time to shine. Denver, please. Allow me to continue. Desmond, amico mio, is predisposed to learning my life so that he may fight against the Templars of his time. Unlike last time at Abstergo, Desmond is fighting a war now. Every step outside the Animus is time he's not preparing to risk his life for the world. He will be seen again. In due time.
Prego, Messer Ezio.
Actually, may I have this dance?
Oh no, go on, please.
Prego. I scaled Torre Roñosa at noon that day. Passing through guards, unseen, unheard. I could hear Baroncelli's fearful ramblings as I climbed closer to the top. I scanned the area and saw him below me. I took my leap of faith and stalked him further. He got sight of me. This I wanted.
Where is Jacopo? There is still time for you to clear your conscience.
We gather at the church when a meeting is called.
Requiescat in pace.
I evaded the guardsmen and made my way up to another of Uncle Mario's companions.
Salute, Ezio! Antonio Maffei has sought refuge atop the city's tallest structure. The man has clearly lost his mind.
Maffei feared me more than most men. He'd assembled archers to strike me before I could match his summit, but he knew nothing of what I was capable of. Antonio's religion gave him comfort in his terror, preaching good men purged by the evils of men like me. So I met him at the ledge and introduced him to his savior.
Away with you, demon! Have some respect for death, my friend. I'll show you respect.
No, I will. Che tu possa fine trovare riposo nel corpo e nella mente. Requiescat in pace. The same went for Salviati, and my loop of vengeance and violence pulled me through my valleys of sorrow.
January 3rd, 1480. Ezio tailed the conspirators to a courtyard. Jacopo, Rodrigo, and a few others. Rodrigo was bashing Jacopo for his incompetence and his inadequacy, and stomping out the fire that was the Auditore bloodline. Jacopo was stabbed by Rodrigo and left to the dogs.
Please. Don't.
And at that moment, he called out to Ezio.
We've been at this a lot longer than you.
Ezio would outmaneuver his trackers and politely put Jacopo to peace. Memory sequence 5 complete. Ezio would meet with Lorenzo Medici after removing the Pazzi from the equation.
I must admit, I've never before believed I could desire the death of others so badly.
Nor I.
What will you do now, Figliolo?
There are still others I must hunt, Signore. They are already digging their claws into the heart of Venezia.
Lorenzo honored Ezio with a cape to help him in his quest of assassination. A sword for the Medici, granting him anonymity from the Medici's guards. Ezio would attempt to meet with Leonardo in his office, but as it turns out, Leonardo had relocated to Venice as well. As it seemed, all roads led to the sinking city. And that would be our next stop. Blue skies and a slightly foggy morning, Ezio would run into his longtime friend, trying to mend his broken wagon.
What is this thing?
Eh?
It looks like a giant bat.
I think I figured out how to make a man fly.
And like that, Ezio and his gay best friend rode off to Venice, until they were accosted by Rodrigo Borgia's men. Leonardo hid in the bed of the cab. Ezio's allowed this badass gameplay moment where he has to shake off parkouring soldiers from the carriage, and then Rodrigo's men set fire to the bridge, and we roll the fuck over it. And the arrows they shot as they lit up the walk we were rolling. You have to manage the carriage health bar as you consistently weave and roll to shake the bastards off as cannons and flaming arrows surround you. Ezio leaves Leonardo to ride off as he fights off his assailants. He made quick work of it, as it's his thing. On the way to Venice, Ezio realizes that he needs a pass to get there, which he has none. Luckily, a screaming woman on a rock, needing saving so.
Don't just stand there! I need help!
A man has fallen into the river in Lego City. Hey!
Sexio went for the kill.
Madonna. Oh, you're good. The ladies must like you.
A Miss Caterina, who's more than willing to help the handsome boy.
Yes, Signora. Whatever you say, Signora.
He won't trouble you anymore. I took care of it.
I look forward to enjoying your hospitality. Be careful, Ezio. Do you know who that was? That's Caterina Sforza, daughter of the Duca di Milano. That woman is as powerful and dangerous as she is young and beautiful.
So we sail off to... Finally! I mean, what?
Everything all right?
You're making amazing progress.
Then why are we stopping?
Prolonged exposure to the Animus can have, side effects. Degradation of cognition, temporal hallucinations, multiple awareness issues, overlapping realities, you know.
Subject 16.
We have safeguards, Desmond.
I think this is awkward.
We're being careful with you.
I hope so.
Not nearly as careful as you'd like to be, Stillman.
Lucy would then take Desmond out for an exercise to see if he was adapting to any of the skills he'd been bleeding from the Animus.
We're gonna see what you've managed to retain.
Desmond, in activating his eagle vision, noticed visions of guards. Lucy states that, with his fast progression, the bleeding should be in full effect in the next 2 days.
I'm glad you're here.
As he'd walked down the hall, Desmond saw Crusader Knights, Templars of Altair's time, in a walking dream as Altair.
I must have passed out. Just having some kind of weird dream.
Altair moves like he did in 1, slowly and not nearly as fluid as Ezio. He can't jump the likes that Ezio can. Desmond chases down his target, up a large castle tower, a Maria from Acre. Altair and her made love in the hay of the tower. Altair leaves, and the angle centers on Maria's stomach. Perhaps this is where the link between Ezio and Altair comes from.
This is one weird dream.
Desmond would wake up from his bed and proceed to return to work. Serenissima Repubblica di Venezia, 1481. Venice is different, dark, gloomy, but somehow bright at the same time. The sun seems to shine, but the colors are muted, without saturation. As depressing as Forks, Washington. While shopping with Leonardo, Ezio's coin purse is stolen by a dime snatcher. I said dime snatcher. The guards in town are cruel and merciless. The vibe is set immediately. It's a piss hole, the Vegas of Italia. Ezio watches as a skilled freerunner attempts to scale the same palazzo that the merchant was wronged at. Injured now from an arrow, Rosa begs you of your assistance in defending against the tyrants. They flee to the water as she limp runs.
What are you doing? Hurry up!
Getting Rosa to a boat, Ezio clears several archers from the rooftops to aid her escape. The mechanic alone is interesting, a very Guardian Angel Saints Row 3 vibe, but much more intimate. Ezio and Rosa's friend Antonio helped to save her life, removing the bolt and stopping her bleeding. Antonio knows of Ezio and of his ways, and invites him in to his office for the first cup of coffee. Well, not the first cup, but you get it.
Un cafe. What's cafe?
A little bitter, if you ask me. Just seems lacking somehow. I don't know. Have you considered adding sugar, maybe? Or latte?
I suppose it's something of an acquired taste.
And just like that, Ezio had invented Starbucks.
may not share our motive, but I know you share our goal. Work with us instead.
I accept.
Ezio would meet with Rosa, who would teach him one of the greatest added maneuvers in the Assassin's Creed meta, the climb leap technique. Now, while in high profile, all you have to do is hold up and jump, then grab the above wall. The climb leap is so useful because it allows for continuous movement with gaps that are the whole body above the climber. Ezio would stay here for about 4 years, rebuilding the Venetian Thieves Guild to its former glory.
We are ready to strike.
Antonio's plan was precise. Ezio would scale the roofs and murder archers to dam Emilio's defenses. He'd weave through hordes of courtesans, peasants, and pissants, bards and guards alike. This town was a sty. And Antonio's men would replace the executed guards Ezio had dispatched. The palazzo was clear. Ezio's friends from low places bid him off to strike true. Emilio was different. Yes, a Templar and a tyrant, but a Templar in which Ezio had no direct correlation to. This was an act of justice, a true assassination of the Hidden Ones, and why Rosa and Antonio's bon chance is met strangely with me.
Remember what I've taught you.
Seek out, though, Ezio. We await word of your success.
Feel no fear, assassin. I sought unity, stability, order. Aggress demands sacrifice.
Requiescat in pace.
A man too far gone by his dying breath. Rosa would climb down clad in butthole armor. Antonio's men would tear down Emilio's banners and return the stolen things to the people of Venice. Ezio asked for 2 things from Antonio after this. Some money for his trouble, and some information. A man named Carlo Grimaldi, on the Council of 10.
I have a meeting to attend.
Memory sequence 7 complete. The colors, while still bleak, seem brighter than before. Removing Emilio from the equation seems to have only helped the town in finding its color once again. It feels so nice to see it shine. Who knows? Maybe this is something I'm just seeing, but I genuinely feel like this wasn't intentional. Ezio would tail a pair of Templars through the streets. They were panicked about the whereabouts of Emilio. The larger man of the two sees Carlo as a doormat and a bootlicker. Their fight echoed throughout the streets, and Carlo's group would enlarge as they discussed the likes of Ezio in town. I love it when my prey is alerted by my presence.
I love it when my prey is alerted of my presence.
That was scary, I didn't like that. The Maestro would join the discussion too, and just like that, Emilio's death was connected again. Damn you, vengeance! Damn you, vengeance! This mission aptly being named Bird of a Feather, because shit stains run through the same drawers, if you know what I mean. Rosa gives Ezio some sweet sugar and sets Antonio to Ezio. Ezio tells him that Carlo and the 10 are in leagues with the Spaniard, and they're going to kill the Doge. Antonio is glad to help, but warns the young Auditore of its danger. Ezio assures him that this will be done. Carlo Grimaldi, Marco Babargo will fall like the last lapdog sent our way. So let's send ours first. Antonio and Ezio would scan the site. The most secured place in Venice, Palazzo Ducale.
It's impossible. There's no way in or out for men. Only birds.
Yes, birds.
Where are you going now?
Meanwhile, at Da Vinci's.
Does it work, Leonardo? Can it really fly? It's not ready yet. Instead, you'd have to leap off a tower. Who would be mad enough to do a thing like that?
Leonardo, I think you just found your madman.
Ezio would be the first man to take to the skies, a Da Vinci glider. It's a piece of work, but it's still a masterpiece. Antonio and Leonardo devise a plan to use bonfires as a source of lift for the glider, in the same way that hot air balloons do. Ezio would take to the smoggy skies and kick archers from their stands while weaving through the flames below. All with one thing in sight, the palazzo. He'd make a crash landing, but a landing surely made. He'd descend from the Dolce snooping on Carlo and the Yellow Signore, the Doge himself.
Signore, don't drink that!
You are too late. The Doge is dead.
What?
It was much too late for the likes of Ezio. And now, due to Carlo's poisonous trickery, the blame is put on Messer Ezio.
Assassino!
It takes one assassin to kill another, it seems. Requiescat in pace.
The Doge takes one final stand to point out his killer, the now skewered Carlo, but he'd fall in the pool of his own blood. The sun would start to shine as Ezio would escape. A bright white overtook the city. Ominous, yet comforting. We'd fade. Serenissima Repubblica di Venezia, 1486. Long time spent now in the sunken city. Word had gotten out about Ezio. Leonardo would tell him that in this time of Carnival, all can go without a face. Ezio hands off another piece to the Codex to Leonardo da Vinci. And da Vinci gives him the hidden gun. Fixed above his blade, this pistol shoots a bullet from his fucking hand. Bro has adapted tenfold. This gun, although loud, provides almost a guaranteed kill against most adversaries and is a surefire way to dispose of those chasing you from afar. Leonardo adorns Ezio with a mask, and he's on his way. Carnival is bright and fun. Lights shine up the night skies, the blue hues of the moon set the mood for such a festive time. Ezio would make his way to the brothel where Antonio was, enjoying some ladies, while chilling with the hoes. A courtesan is butchered in the streets by a generic thief _1. He's caught slicing another maiden in two. This pre-Jack the Ripper ripoff slaughtering dozens of damsels in doublets. And this is all just a way to shoo in the true function of the hidden gun. If you can't catch them, shoot them. Now with extra hooker blood on his hands, Ezio would return to the brothel, now with a dead lady on the table. The lady of the brothel is one of the Lord, a sister Theodora, who has a plan to get Ezio into the party, fix the problems that arose after the Doge's departure. Borgia was throwing a party this night at Carnival. All are numbered, the likes. A series of festival games. Funnily enough, this and the Flying Machine, I remember best of this game. Something about Ezio going about taking ribbons from ladies, capture the flag, but cheating with parkour, and beating an obstacle course record. Like, yes, very menial and rather unimportant in the long run, but there's something here I want to touch on later. The hero's journey. I feel like it's the little meanders and misdirections Ezio faces that make him an interesting protagonist. Unlike a John Marston, who's got a set goal and is only doing stuff for people who ask him because they'll eventually help him. It's that cyclical courtesy seen mostly in hardened and, well, meaner lead roles. As I stated way earlier, Ezio's nice. Like a nice guy. Like, he's kind of a fuckboy, but he's the person that would defend his friends and worry about them. And much more of a hero than a killer, which makes his eventual departure into assassinations somewhat a moral dilemma. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Ezio was literally just doing this to get in the party. Sure. But Ezio doesn't really mind. He's down to show off. I mean, save a girl, be a hero. He's just got a job to do. But even after all of Ezio's work, Dante Moro is crowned champion. Even though you, as Ezio, kicked his ass directly in combat. The plan now changed.
You never had a chance to defeat me, fool! And you know why?
Because you cheated?
No, not because I cheated, because I'm an evil genius.
Ezio must acquire the mask from Dante without killing him, as killing him would make them cancel the party. Using a cohort of horny horn corded courtesans to cavort across the courtyard. First try! That was insane. I'm sorry. I just had to. I've been waiting for that line. Using a cohort of horny horn corded courtesans to cavort across the courtyard, Ezio stalks Dante and yoinks his mask. The mark was set. Marco Barbarigo in the boat, just to jump away from the fences. A shot away, even. Bang!
Requiescat in pace.
Ezio would return to the ladies and Antonio, a true hero, after fucking the night away. Serenissima Repubblica di Venezia, 1486.
I'd like to introduce you to an associate. This is Agostino Barbarigo.
I'm sorry for the loss of your brother.
He had it coming. He was bought and paid for by the Borgia.
Ezio would conduct a plan to assemble Bartolomeo, a friend of Antonio and Agnostico, and his men to strike against the Borgia. One of Bartolomeo's men had attacked where he was to meet Ezio.
Took him deeper into the district.
Ezio, with the help of Antonio's thieves, releases Bartolomeo, and they make a break for it. The two would devise a plan to distract the city guards with Bart's men, and Ezio would swoop in for the kill, as per usual. All he needs to do is gather at a tall enough point and fire the flare, and then take out Dante and Silvio. So, like clockwork. Rage flooded the streets. With a strike of the flare, Ezio leapt from the pedestal into the Venetian waters to defend his new friend from Dante, making quick work of the Templar dog. Before he could make the kill, Silvio and Dante book it for safety, and Ezio's forced to chase down those two wild pigs, and he does just that. With another sector liberated, Bart's men rejoice, but Ezio remains silent and thoughtful.
Silvio wasn't looking to replace Marco as Doge. He was about to leave Venezia, in fact. This whole thing was just a distraction.
Why?
That is what I need to find out.
And he left, as the simulation loaded through. Memory sequence 10, complete. Serenissima Repubblica Venezia, 1488.
There you are, Ezio. Why so serious?
Why so serious? It's my birthday.
Davvero? 100 di questi giorni. That's wonderful.
Is it? It's been over 10 years since I watched my father and brothers die. 10 years hunting the men responsible. So close to the end now, but no closer to understanding what any of it was for.
You may not see it, Ezio, but it's better here now because of the things you've done. Look here. I have a birthday present for you. It's l'Arsenale's shipping manifest. From the day the boat left. And guess when it's scheduled to return? Tomorrow.
Leonardo comes along with glaring news. He's uncovered bits of the prophecy that Mario and Giovanni have spent their lives decoding. Ezio clears up the gaps in Leo's knowledge, and it's brought to their attention that this artifact and the Codex could be why the Templars had set out to Cyprus, because they know too.
When the second piece is brought to the floating city,
only the Prophet can open the vault. My God!
The boat from Cyprus arrives tomorrow. Like any Renaissance goat, he's going to be ready for its arrival.
After getting to their arrival, I noticed my Uncle Mario tailing after the same men I was. Curious, I kept to the skies watching the Templar carrying this strange package. The Templars were particular about these oddities packaging so as to not upset the Spaniard. I devised a plan to trade places with the package's courier as they get close to their maestro. For the next stressful moments of my life, I will stay in formation, with ranks I did not know. This honestly reminds me of a time in Roma when I had to...
We know. And if you don't, you will.
You really have it? You were not followed.
We have followed your orders exactly as specified. The mission to Cyprus was more difficult than...
Ezio. It's been some time.
Rodrigo. So, where is he? Your prophet. How many people have died for these? For what's in this box? And look, there's nobody here.
Don't you see him? The prophet is already here. I am the prophet. Now give me the apple.
Come and take it from me.
Their steel clash streaks through the streets. Rodrigo was skilled with the sword, but not nearly as so as Ezio now. The man was old, his strikes slowed with each connection.
Is this all you have? Where is the rest of your people?
What people?
Rodrigo had called more guards to slow in Ezio's assault, but much like Altair before him, he pushed. He pushed with each cut, and forced his men apart.
Uncle! Don't worry, Nipote. You are not alone.
Pompey? What are you doing here?
He could very well ask you the same thing.
Save your questions, brother. Don't let Borgia visit that box.
Avanti!
Many friends and family of Ezio's time come to save him in the beautifully constructed Deus Ex Machina. Except, this is no Deus Ex Machina. This is great writing, and you'll see why soon. Antonio, Mario, Bartolomeo, and La Volpe striking true in honor of their young comrade.
Saluting before you, Andresito. You will die by my hand, just like your father. This war has been going on far longer than either of us has taken hold. Your brothers didn't need to die. I just killed them.
Rodrigo bashing Ezio with mental and emotional damage every which way.
This is for my fucking...
Damn!
Paola.
He's gone, but we have what we came for.
No. I need to go after him.
Do you really now? Or are you here for another reason, my son?
Theodora! What? What are you all doing here?
Perhaps the same thing you are, Ezio. Hoping to see the prophet appear.
He never showed up.
No? But you did. A prophet's arrival was foretold. And unbeknownst to us, here you are. Perhaps all along, you were the one we sought.
Cosa? Who are you?
Niccolò di Bernardo de Machiavelli. I am an assassin, trained in the ancient ways to safeguard mankind's evolution. Just like you, and each one of us here.
This reveal was intense. This whole time, every little interaction with people willing to die for Ezio's cause wasn't only just for him, but it was also for the Creed.
You are all assassins? Paola. Volpe.
It's true, Nipote. We have all been guiding you for years, teaching you the skills you would need to join our ranks. I think it's time.
Antonio told Ezio to meet him at the tower at sunset. All assassins gathered together for the official induction of Ezio Auditore. With 10 years under his belt, and a KD that'd make FaZe Clan weep.
La Shea Waka Umutlak Bel Kulun Munkin. These are the words spoken by our ancestors that lay at the heart of our creed.
Where other men blindly follow the truth, remember,
Nothing is true.
where other men are limited by morality or law, remember,
Everything is permitted.
we work in the dark to serve the light. We are assassins.
Nothing is true.
Everything is permitted.
Now, this is the part where typically they would cut off their ring finger to both signify allegiance to the assassins and practical mobility reasons. But
in this modern age, we are not so literal as our ancestors.
This only hurts for a while, brother. Like so many things.
Antonio would clasp the red-hot irons on his ring finger to brand him officially. And from that moment, Ezio was an assassin. Okay, play along, complete. Alright, good sync score, not bad, not bad. Album of Eden acquired, Venetian Cape acquired, memory sequence 11 complete. Wait, the Apple of Eden?
Are you okay? Do you want to stop?
No, I need to go back. Right now.
Desmond frantically jumps back into the Animus where he hears Sean utter some disconcerting sounds.
You want to share with the rest of us?
Rodrigo Borgia is elected Pope in 1492, which means Ezio's greatest enemy is now also the most powerful man in Italy.
Always wanted to visit the Vatican.
Well, your luck's in, Desmond. Happy days.
Meanwhile, in Da Vinci's lab, Ezio, Niccolo, Mario, and Leonardo inspect the apple.
What is it, Leonardo? What does it do?
I could no more explain this than explain to you why the Earth goes around the sun.
You mean the sun around the Earth?
Not the geocentric sun theory in my Assassin's Creed 2.
It's fabricated with materials that shouldn't exist. And yet, this is clearly a very ancient artifact.
The Codex refers to it as a piece of Eden.
The Spaniard. He called it the apple.
Like Eve's apple, of forbidden knowledge. Are you then suggesting that this thing...
Yes, Leonardo, that exactly.
Ezio, you must protect this with all the skills we have taught you.
Take it to Forli. The citadel is walled, protected by cannons, and our ally controls it.
Who is this ally?
Her name is Caterina Sforza.
You don't say. I think I may enjoy this mission.
Romagna, 1488.
I thought when we met you were a bit special, but an assassin?
Forgive me, but I've never heard of a woman ruling her own city before. It's very impressive.
Well, it was my husband's before. He died.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Don't be. I had him killed.
Oh.
I'm a big dog, big bear, nigga, I'm a lion. I'm the predator.
Pussy poppin'. People were screaming and running rampant in the streets. Aspetta, Caterina's friend, assaulted. As it turns out, the Orsi had attacked the city. The Orsi were the men hired once by Sforza to de-husband her. Men ruled by their pockets rather than hearts. The assassins would butcher Forley's attackers, with knights and guard joining us for once in battle.
They're already inside. Double-crossing bastards.
Is there another way into this place?
Ezio would make his way to the other side of the wall to gain entry into Forley. He'd open the gate for the team below and push forward with the lovely loudmouth. The streets of Forley soaked in crimson and iron clippings, all the way leading into the citadel. All but 2 of Sforza's children were safe actively, and the Orsi was storming the citadel.
Caterina Sforza! Are you missing any children?
Ludovico and Keiko Orsi, child-napping purse snatchers.
Where are my children? Let them go!
Of course, Signora. We'll happily give them back for a certain map and a certain apple, brother.
Bastardi! You think you can threaten me? I'll give you nothing! You want my children? Take them! I have the instrument to make more!
They gave her an hour to comply or lose her children. Ezio would hand off the apple to Caterina and make haste towards the Orsi scum. You have 10 minutes to save them. It's a nothing job for the goat. Ezio would scale to the lighthouse and give Ludovico one in the throat.
Caterina was a fool to send you.
Was it worth it?
More than you know. The Maestro gains his prize because of me.
Requiescat in pace. What are you doing out here?
I'm so sorry, Ezio. It was a trick. Lower our defenses.
Keiko Orsi. He has the apple.
Keiko had flown for the hills. So must Ezio do. You see, the first Assassin's Creed suffers from being very formulaic and similar. You find a target, learn their habits, talk to a guy for a contract to kill him, and get paid, repeat. But where Assassin's Creed 2 angles to fix this monotony, they had so much more plot relevance to the killings and the experiences. Unlike Assassin's Creed 1, AC2 is structured much more like an epic. You see, a man on a mission addled with hubris through a long and treacherous journey. Almost every opportunity something goes wrong, or he's left to mull over his failures. But it's that plot relevance and those character stakes that make the repetitive assassination loop fun. Because now you really want to see those men die.
What's wrong?
Easy money. Shink!
You have your prize again.
Was it worth it? So much bloodshed.
A prize of such value. It will not remain yours for long.
We shall see. Le miserie nascono dall'avidità. Requiescat in pace.
With a final act of hatred, Keiko stabbed Ezio in the stomach to unrequiescat his pace. Ezio would fall over and watch as the apple be taken from him once again. Ezio's lost this thing 3 times now, and he's not going to let it escape his clutches.
Caterina, I have to go, right away.
Then you will need this as well.
The map Niccolo spoke of.
Iswald uncovered the locations of all the Codex Pages. You will recover the apple, but you will never find the vault without this.
I think I'm going to miss you, Caterina.
Oh, I know you will.
Did somebody say third act, baby? Ezio would trace the abbeys in Forley for a monk with 9 fingers, the man who holds the apple today. In reaching the monk hideout, Ezio is accosted by the monks, rightfully afraid of him, in a quite funny interaction.
Excuse me, brother. I wonder if you can...
Unholy demon! Get away!
What's wrong?
You're the one who killed Brother Steffano! Brothers, the killer of monks has returned!
Ezio tackles this goof nigga, pleading for screaming like Alex Jones, and asks to give him a listen.
I'm looking for a black-robed monk who's missing a finger.
Missing a finger, you say? Do you mean like Fra Savonarola?
You know him?
We suggested he retired to a hermitage for a good long time.
Where would he have gone?
Oh dear. Santo Spirito? In Firenze?
Go with God, brother.
Memory sequence 12 complete. Repubblica Fiorentina, 1497. Ezio was to meet Machiavelli on the bridge, where the bonfires were popping free.
You picked a fine time for a homecoming.
Savonarola has taken control of Firenze.
It all started a few weeks ago. The man everyone once reviled was suddenly the one they worshipped.
Ah, the apple.
It's not the city he's enthralled. but its leaders, men possessed of influence and power. They, in turn, oppress the citizens and ensure his will is done.
And those bodies bear the emblem of the Borgia.
The Spaniard keeps sending his soldiers into Firenze, and Firenze keeps sending them back.
Ezio devises a plan to strike this new Alim by distracting his pawns while Ezio goes in for Savonarola. It seems simple enough. Ezio just had to kill 9 high-rank officials, and if Altair could do it in 1 game, Ezio can do it in 1 hour. Fuck. First, the artist.
What have I done? My own self-doubt let him hold me as he did. I am sorry.
Requiescat in pace.
And then the preacher.
Not all of us require deception to be convinced all I said is true.
Nothing is true. Requiescat in pace.
And the condottiero.
Wealth and power do not ensure contentment. I wanted even more.
And now instead, you have nothing. Requiescat in pace.
And then the priest.
I thought he preached the word of God. I led my flock astray. It's just I wanted so badly to believe.
We all do. Requiescat in pace.
E poi il dottore, the doctor.
To command such power over the body, between this world and the next. It seems I grew intoxicated.
Requiescat in pace.
The captain of the guard, unlike the others, was prepared for my arrival. A snake trap. No one's tried that before. But an eagle need not fear the snare of a serpent. And soon my hidden blade tasted of lifeblood once again.
Is this truly who I was?
No. Savonarola bewitched you.
Did he? Or was it that I tasted power and found myself intoxicated? I wish I had been stronger.
Requiescat in pace.
This is the most notable fallout of the usage of the Apple of Eden we've ever really seen. Although the entire town isn't possessed, in these moments you really feel what this machine is doing to the hearts and minds of men. Which means I finally get to do this. The Apples of Eden. The Apples of Eden are one of many pieces of Eden, and I lightly touched up on these in the last video. These are highly advanced pieces of Isu technology outlasting even its creator. With a Temu shopping cart-sized list of abilities, the Apple of Eden can project illusions, control minds, manipulate physics, cast tangible holograms, negating other pieces of Eden, advance knowledge, power imbuing, way too much more. Honestly, it's easier telling you what this shitbox can't do. This piece of silver cast out of Adam and Eve. It turned staves into snakes, parted and closed the Red Sea. Eris used to start the Trojan War, and with it, a poor carpenter turned water into wine. One of 6 apples, many being destroyed in the many years that had gone on since.
E poi il contadino, the farmer.
You would have let your own people starve.
Too long I suffered their insults. I wanted their respect.
I'm afraid you do not have mine. Requiescat in pace.
As it seems, many of these men were truly possessed, but some of them gave in willingly to the apple's trickery, much like Vegeta with Babadi's mind control. Many faces stained with regret for their actions, but just as many content.
And then, Il Mercante.
What have I done?
You tried to force devotion.
Sometimes the people must be told what to think.
No good has ever come of that. Requiescat in pace.
And finally, the nobleman.
I was a victim. It's not my fault.
No, you made the choice.
He charmed me with that thing.
Only because you allowed it. Requiescat in pace.
With all 9 lieutenants killed, Ezio heads for a rager that's been building up. Paola, La Volpe, and Niccolo stand amongst the rioting crowd.
What happens now?
Watch.
You should be cleansing your home, cleansing yourself. You will do as I command! You will submit!
In the ride, Ezio catches a glimpse of the apple's new holder, being chased by 33 guards down a Florentine parkway, just like when you were a kid. After meandering for 20 minutes, Ezio grabs the apple from the unbeaten heart of the guardsman. The townsman carried Savonarola into a pike, not far from the gallows that once claimed the Auditore bloodline, setting him ablaze like a witch. Balenciaga.
Any last words? Only one.
Ezio chose to end his suffering.
It's you. I knew this day would come. Please, show mercy.
I have. Requiescat in pace.
Ezio stood before the townspeople and spoke proudly.
22 years ago, I stood where I stand now and watched my loved ones die, betrayed by those I had called friends. Vengeance clouded my mind, would have consumed me, were it not for the wisdom of a few strangers. Taught me to look past my instincts. We don't need anyone to tell us what to do. Not Savonarola, not the Medici. Choose your own way. Do not follow me, or anyone else.
Memory sequence 13 complete. Ezio would use his free time now collecting the 30 Codex pages scattered across Italy. After an hour of page collecting, Ezio would place the apple at the pedestal and assemble the 30 Codex pages. A crude yet accurate representation of Earth. A map. Locations unknown to man at the time.
Apparently they do exist. I imagine they've yet to be discovered.
How is this possible?
Perhaps the vault will hold the answer.
It can't be. The vault. It looks like the vault is in Roma. The Spaniard. This is why he became Pope.
It's not the vault alone he's gained access to, but the staff as well.
What stuff?
The Staves of Eden. The Staff of Eden is basically a stick apple. Still OP and terrifying, often held by members of high esteem and power, such as a Papal Staff. The Papal Staff is the second key to unlock the vault. So the stone was set. And Ezio had one last job to do. Enter the Vatican and finish this. Atop Castel Sant'Angelo, Ezio would mince and remove the Catholic protection. Ezio would go tower to tower, from gate to gate, plighting and pillaging the Borgian forces. He'd ride, race, and chase up and above every closing gate in his way. This one-man army proves himself in each and every bout, even when it seemed that God would oppose him. And then he was inside, taking cover within the many monks and apostles running rampant in the palace. He was reading the Bible in its Latin text. The Sistine Chapel was crowded with its followers. Ezio leapt from the rafters and pierced the Pope's throat.
I thought I was beyond this, but I'm not. Requiescat in pace, you bastard.
I don't think so.
But the power of the staff saved Rodrigo from his fate.
I see. Kind of you to bring me the apple. Now give it here! Oh, is the fighter. Just like your father. Well, rejoice, my child. For you will see him again soon.
As you wish.
Shadow Clone Jutsu! Ezio pulls out his Shadow Clone Jutsu. 5 brilliant Ezio begun to beat the ever-loving shit out of this man. Slice, punch, jab, ugh. One Ezio was shooting. At least 3 were dancing. It was a great time.
No, you will not take this from me.
It's finished, Rodrigo. Lay down your arms, and I will make sure the end comes swiftly.
Really, Ezio? And would you give up so easily were it the other way around?
Rodrigo would overpower Ezio and raise him up in the air, placing a blade in his gut and letting him leak like a faucet. Rodrigo Borgia was gone, with both the apple and the staff. His only hope now was to get to the vault before Rodrigo. The secret passageway, covered in cliffs and lights.
It's over, Rodrigo.
No more tricks. No more ancient artifacts. No more weapons. Let us see what you are made of, old man.
All right then. If that's how you want to play it.
What do you even want with the vault, Rodrigo?
Don't you know what lies within? God. It's God that dwells within.
Rodrigo plans to use the relics on God to make himself the new creator.
You are the Pope, and yet you dismiss the central text of your faith?
I became Pope because it gave me access.
Ezio would beat the old man to a pulp, tightening his hands around his throat. Tighter.
You can't. You can't. It's my destiny. Mine. I am the prophet.
You never were.
Get it over with, then.
No. Killing you won't bring my family back. I'm done. Nulla è reale. Tutto è lecito. Requiescat in pace.
But just like that, Ezio left the man beaten down. But as they approached the staff, the gate had opened. Inside were more glyphs, LEDs, and at the center of it all, a hologram.
Greetings, Prophet. It is good you have come. Let us see it, to give thanks. We must speak.
Who are you?
Many names. When I died, it was Minerva. Before that, Merva and Mera. And on and on. Juno, who was before called Uni. Jupiter, who was before called Tinia.
You are gods.
No, not gods. We simply came before. Even when we walked the world, your kind struggled to understand our existence. We were more advanced in time. Your minds were not yet ready. You may not comprehend us, but you will comprehend our warning. You must.
None of what you are saying makes sense.
Our words are not meant for you. I do not wish to speak with you, but through you. You are the prophet. You've played your part. Listen. Your kind betrayed us. We who made you. We who gave you life. So busy were we with earthly concerns, we failed to notice the heavens. And by the time we did, the world burned until naught remained but ash. But we built you in our own image. We built you to survive. And so we did. Few were our numbers. Your kind and mine. Let my words preserve the message and make a record of our loss. You must find the other temples, built by those who knew to turn away from war. If you can find them, if their work can be saved, so too might this world. And guard against the cross, for there are many who will stand in your way. The message is delivered. We are gone now from this world, all of us. We can do no more. The rest is up to you, Desmond.
Nigga, what?
What? Who is Desmond? I don't understand. Please wait.
Minerva faded away, and then the credits roll. But just you wait.
What the fuck?
Right, Sean, I need you and Rebecca to get everything in here packed up and loaded into the truck. You and I'll deal with the Templars.
What, they're here?
Yes, they're here now! Strapped with a hidden blade, Desmond and Lucy step into a warehouse as the credits still continue to scroll by.
Mr. Miles, this is an unexpectedly pleasant turn of events.
What do you want, Vidic?
For you to come home. We miss you terribly. There's still so much work for us to do together.
It's not happening, Warren.
You continue to disappoint in every conceivable way, Miss Stillman.
Damn!
I saved your life once. Do you remember?
You saved me so you could keep experimenting on people.
You were there, at my side, every step of the way. Their blood is on your hands just as much as mine.
Desmond, now with 20 years of Ezio underneath his belt, dispatches Vidic's guards as he fumbles for the van.
Uh-oh, Doc. Looks like it's just you and me now.
Enjoy your victory, Mr. Miles. Temporary as it is.
And he headed off.
Desmond, we have to go!
On the way to safety as the credits re-roll, and the gang discusses any further movements. Desmond's sessions are going to be fully analyzed. We're dealing with a possible solar flare that could mean the end of the Earth as we know it, and it seems that all the assassins were the only ones that could have stopped this from happening. Assassin's Creed 2 was very different than from its predecessor. The writers cut a lot of the basic Assassin's public power in the sequel. From being a monastery of highly trained killers, they went to being lost lands without a community. As the years raged on from Mualim's time into Ezio's, the assassins have, for the most part, lost their power. And the assassins being less of a presence aids in the player's enjoyment of the story. It's so painfully personal. Whereas Altair's tale wasn't. Ezio's first 30 years are filled with anger, violence, and vengeance. Much like Ellie Williams, when it came down to killing the man behind all of his sorrow, he didn't. He let the Pope live, showing that Ezio grew substantially in his early years of being an assassin, and he slowly started attempting to revive the lost clan of the Hidden Ones. Ezio goes from screaming in the faces of the dead to showing compassion and mercy, and not even felling his most heinous villain. In the end, Assassin's Creed 2 is a story about freedom, and being able to fight for it. Desmond's presence is noted much more here than it was before, and only began to show up more as the games progress, as this was the first of the series to intertwine Desmond and his avatar. As we noted, early Minerva could sense Desmond within Ezio. This sequel managed to take all of the beats of one and flip them on their head to create a cult classic video game with a story that will be remembered for generations to come. Assassin's Creed 2 was so good that they brought back Ezio for the threequel, baby. So yeah, that's my Assassin's Creed 2 retrospective. I'm sorry it took so long. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed. And don't worry, because one day, I'll see you in Roma, my brothers. And remember, nothing is true.
Everything is permitted.